Hello, you guys. I hope you are well. Holy moly, this was crazy. I had a really crazy night. I woke up very early. I woke up at 4. We've been having these states on Schumann Resonance for quite some time, and you can see we are being constantly bombarded by old frequencies. A lot of the stuff what we are purging right now, it's still the same on the team. We are still purging shame and guilt and abuse and everything what is like around the sacral chakra. So manipulation, communication is gonna be involved in this one as well. So it's very turbulent right now. People are on the edge, super like touchy, and like there's a lot of fire. I had a lot of visions about a fire, a lot of visions about abuse, and I think around 7 o'clock what I started to experience when the sun starts getting up, usually most of these energies you're gonna be feeling in the body quite a lot. So if you cannot sleep, or you are having if you are having like whatever type of problems you are having right now in the body, you can always ask for assistance from the higher realms, whatever guides you are working with. I had a lot of guides that are showing up usually for me in a particular times. Let's say now I have some new guide who was actually showing me that I am absorbing a lot from the collective in the sacral chakra right now, and he showed me to move that energy up into the heart and transmute it and send it over through my feet down to the ground. So this is a technique I've been using a lot if I am having pain in the body. Of course, I am like consciously facing the shadows that are popping up and showing up. These energies are like a lot of the cultural and transgenerational trauma that were done on both female and male. Like, we are balancing masculine and feminine all the time. And showed me as well to work with a fluoride. It's a beautiful gem, and they showed me that actually it is balancing out the both of the sides of the like the left side of the body is feminine and the right side of the body is a masculine. And if you have a pain somewhere in there, these usually have something to do with a traumas from the childhood. And what is showing up as well, because we are around Christmas, there is gonna be a lot of themes around traditions and traumas around traditions that we encounter as a kids. We've got a very weird, like, because I'm from Czech Republic, we have a very strange traditions, like as well for Easter, like, they are beating the women's butt with this like stick or whatever, like that's just kind of weird tradition. And usually, like, the man were always looking forward to just like, okay, once a year we can beat our women, like, and it's allowed. So we have a lot of like crazy traditions. And as well, we had a tradition like that over the Christmas. It's this old festival where the people are dressing up like angels, or they are dressing like a devils. And then there is as well a different type of masks, sort of. It's this like I don't even know what's the name in English, honestly, of this mass that they are like having over Christmas. But what starts showing up for me, it's like how we were as a kids extremely scared by the devil masks that our fathers used to usually dress up like that. It was a big mess. A lot of addictions are involved in these, you guys. Alcohol, it's especially alcohol, and like overeating as well. That's gonna be a lot of like trauma. Or actually that's not a trauma, it's more like a coping mechanism with some certain events that happen in our life. So this is being pushed to surface. You can see it's really crazy. My sacral chakra started to hurt like crazy, but from the back, there where you have a pelvic bone, there is a lot of trauma is in that part, because like sacral chakra is house of creation, you know, and as well it's linked with the communication and creative expression, and we are restoring the creative expression. We are still not done with this. This is gonna be a big one. A lot of shame is in there as well, and a lot of like sexual abuses are in there, because it is linked as well to your sexual organs. So there is gonna be a lot going on around on that team right now, but we are still purging the same kind of a thing, and we are being prepared for the next year. So today is 12/12/2022, which is another, if you through the numerology, if you count it all together, it's still number 12. You end up with the number 12, and that's number 3. This is a beautiful portal. A lot of people are gonna having some great courses or events or journeys or I don't know, healing sessions. So take advantage of it, because this portal is really fascinating. You know, it's just once a year. Trinity, mind, body, and spirit, you know. So it's expansion, expression, communication, fun, and self-exploration. Also, it is relating to giving, to openness, harmony, and optimism. You know, it's like we are sort of restoring the power within, and like trying to get the whole as much as we can. Another thing what might happen is it would be probably inflammation in the body, and it might be very like uncomfortable for the body right now. So do your best to navigate these days, or if you already feeling it and you feeling all this heat and all these people are extremely frustrated, so the frustration runs really high. Anger is huge. I've been like angry like crazy. So, but I am filtering it through the collective. So I often forget that I am absorbing certain things that I have to filter and consciously move into the heart, transmute it, and send it away. So you can use that technique, and you can ask any type of guide that you have, or ask your higher self to bring someone to help you with certain situation. That's what I actually wanted to tell you as well, which is great. It's a great technique if you struggle in any area of your life, or you've got some issues, let's say whatever it is. It could be anxiety, it could be depression. That's all still there, because we are still purging this type of things. Depression, anxiety is all there. Luck, we are purging luck. Finances, we're going to be looking on our finances a lot closely. We're going to be looking on our compatibility with the people, and as well, we are going to be experiencing the huge differences between each other, and how we are trying to get as compassionate as possible. So I think I'm going to get out from here, and I'm going to show you. Okay, so those were states from the 12th of December, which are on the Schumann Resonance. That we are still experiencing quite a big amount of turmoil, and like it's rough. It's rough, guys. The energies when they are in that kind of bar I told you, around under 8 hertz, or under or below 8 hertz, and above 8 hertz, like in that spectrum between 12 and 0, or 0 to 12. It's a rocky ride. We are having usually breaks in between. All right, so now today is the 20th. This update is like reflection on what happened the 12/12th, and what is happening right now, because we are experiencing it. It doesn't happen only in that day. You might be experiencing it before, or maybe you are experiencing it even after So it's good to know. It's more like this report. Like sometimes I have to as well process it, sit with it, integrate it, really download the different information about it. We are going really, really, really fast. So it's almost every 2.5 to 3 days we are preparing for the next year, and it's gonna be a tough one. It's gonna be a rocky one. You know, we might go through this like being extremely angry to being extremely compassionate, like from those like two different extremes. It depends how consciously you are working with whatever it's showing up for you. I'm constantly writing about preparation for the 2023, about the sacral chakra especially, because we are purging from that region the most. Yesterday it was absolutely crucifying, so I'm gonna touch on that. That's the 20th of December is today, and yesterday we were again hit with very similar stuff what we were hit before, that around the 12th of December. Those are all very powerful numbers if you count it all together. So, you know, it's good to know about it. I am sharing this just in case you're going for the same kind of a stuff, so that you don't think that you're crazy, because like most of the people who are on this channel or who are listening my stuff or reading this stuff are here because just as a validation of what they are going through, or they are going through something very similar, so that they know that they're not going crazy, which is like, that's why I actually start doing it. Or people were as well encouraging me to do that more often, just because it help them to say, okay, well, that makes sense, you know, like, okay, well, oh, I'm not going nuts. So, you know, it's really important to understand that we are all going through the evolution of the human form. The form is evolving, the human is evolving, like the body is changing, the DNA is upgrading. So there are physical symptoms to it. It's not just emotional, because like all the emotional stuff goes with it. It's a big cocktail. So I wrote all these things. You can read all of these about what's going on, or new teachings were definitely presented to you. Maybe you are new to this channel, you know, maybe I am the one who is gonna be bringing you a little bit more about energies and understanding what you might be experiencing. But of course you have to always check on with yourself, because we are all coming from a different backgrounds, we have a different past, we coming from a different countries. Let's say I am from Czech Republic, and we went through many, many years of oppression. You know, I'm from the communistic country. You know, the Russians were occupying us for about almost 50 years. So there is a lot going on. In my body, I'm still purging the ancestral stuff. But it's very good to know about this, because sometimes this is not yours because you didn't really experience it. But the body remembers it. You know, the body needs to release it. Like, let's say in my case, I'm the only one who is actually awake in the family lineage. I don't see any of my family members, and I don't see my sister, brother, my mother, my father, none of them, nobody. My aunt passed away last year, and I immediately, when she passed away, I got another bag of trauma, because I process a lot through the dreams, and I realized that I'm actually purging some sort of domestic violence. That's all in sacral chakra, because sacral chakra gets the most affected and the most misaligned usually during the childhood, and you know, during the teens, and then you carry it with you your entire life, like, unless you are not consciously working with those traumas. I still trying to figure out why is that I am so much affected. I'm constantly in the pain, and like a massive pain, like from my lower back down. I'm absorbing it, and I'm somehow like, I don't understand this still, because it's my part of my journey. You know, it is always, I would say for all of us, it's coming bit by bit. We all are navigating these days like in the best of our abilities, but most of the time right now we're gonna be looking on our limiting beliefs about the nature of reality actually, and the ability to create, even though we went through some traumatic events, and even though there was some transgeneration traumas that some of us are purging. So we can choose to release it, but we have to know how to do it. And it's done by the choice. I don't know if you ever heard about somebody who just like snapped and in one day went through a deep depression to being completely out of it just by a choice. But there, usually, if you choose to do that, you need certain amount of the understanding. Why is it there? That it's actually not you, because we are often saying, oh, I am anxious. No, you're not anxious, because you're not the anxiety. You feel the anxiety, but you're not the anxiety. Or I am depressed, but it doesn't mean that you are the depressed, because I am that I am. So we are oftentimes perpetuating and creating certain states that we do not need to create, and we are gonna creating it unless we do not recognize how we are creating it and how the reality is created. So we will sort of be more and more sharpening our focus and awareness. That is like one of the biggest things what we have to do prior to stepping into 2023, that we are actually more aware of how all these things are playing out in the body. What is yours, what is not yours. I wrote there like a shadow work, what you can do. You will find all of these on my Instagram. So you can go have a look on it, because right now we are in a completely new cycle, and I think we are actually entering this cycle slowly, surely now, and in January we're gonna be fully stepping into the next 2.5 to 3 years cycle. And because we are entering the new cycle, so we are gonna be purging a lot. I would say a lot of the old stuff. I got just some glimpses of the news yesterday, and today morning again it show up for me in like, it's just pop in, the Google always suggests. They have us all figured out. They are spreading as well a lot of fear. A lot of fear is being spread. Like, this is the fear frequency. So this is a rocky ride. And this is from yesterday. Yesterday I was completely knocked down. And this is what I wanted to actually just talk about, like today, is like these states. We are again experiencing almost identical stuff what we were experiencing the 12th. And this state yesterday was absolutely crucifying. Like, I was knocked down. It didn't happen to me many years, honestly. I think I was knocked down like this maybe 3 times since my Kundalini awakening. But this is right now, this is right now when I'm recording it, this state. So when there is a war going on in the collective, this is what we're gonna be seeing a lot. It's our sacral chakra and our root chakra are gonna be completely messed up. So if you have a lot of pain, you're gonna have the pain in there. A lot of people are gonna have a pain like throat, because that goes with the throat. You might have a pain in the eyes. You might have this blunt, not sharp though, like a really blunt, sort of like something is not passing through kind of a pain. And that, for me, how it manifested was that I was actually picking up my daughter from school in this time. I get out from the house and my left leg started to be extremely sore, and I started to feel my entire part of my left body started to be really, really sore, like sort of like a rheumatism, like when you have inflammation of the soft tissues. And I still didn't know that there was some like military and going on in, I think, Korea and Japan are having some sort of like a stuff going on. I didn't even have a look on it. I don't want to really tap into it more than I am actually tapping into it, honestly. So that as well happened in Czech Republic a long time ago. So, we went through Velvet Revolution, and every time there are these like political upheavals, this affects the sacral chakra the most. We are always being targeted on the sacral chakra. Because if you misalign sacral chakra, that one is connected to the throat, and actually once the sacral chakra is misaligned, your entire being is misaligned. And this is what is happening actually now as well with this artificial frequency of the fear that is being constantly spread, the 19 hertz. I'm talking about it all the time. It's still there. It doesn't go away. That is there on the purpose to constantly keep us in a low vibration, to put us down. And it's very good to learn how to recognize what is yours and what is not yours, because obviously the body remembers. The body remembers all the ancestral stuff, what ancestors went through, especially, let's say, in my lineage, there was oppression. They call it the Big Depression, so that's what we are actually going through. We are going through another big depression. So it's like a collective depression. Yeah, it's been a lot lately. And if you are the type of a soul who is having like certain background, let's say like Bulgarian, like Czech, Slovakian, Russian, Ukrainian, you name it, if you are from even probably, I don't know, Venezuelan and other Latin countries that remembers all the oppression, that they remember the poverty and living in a lack as well. This is what we are actually purging right now. It's heavy, it's super heavy, and it was crucifying. I couldn't walk. I suddenly couldn't walk, and my sacral chakra was so sore, but like so sore that I had to, when I came home with my daughter, I had to lie down, and I had to call the father of my daughter to take care about like the beasts, because I just absolutely was not able to do anything. I was not able to go to the shop. I was not able to prepare any meal for my daughter. I was just practically absolutely crucified down. So I got a cup of tea, then I had a shower later when these went off. But the pain was so bad, and it was going from the uterus, so all the hips, all the womb, all the uterus, and it was going down to one leg until the feet. And in my case, it was the female side of the body. That is the left foot. So practically from the belly, the entire hips, also my scar, after my daughter was born on the C-section. So that scar started to burn and being so sore. So we're going definitely through certain releases of as well how we were born, the way we were born. And I was lying with it, and I was trying to understand it, what is mine, what is not mine, is this mine, is it all mine, or am I purging as well something for the ancestors, like for the family lineage, or if it's just my stuff. But fair enough, they showed me that the communists, what they were doing back then when we were born, they were separating us from our mothers on a purpose. And there was this ideology that if the child cries, you don't pick them up and you don't soothe them. So a lot of us having really broken families, like the Czech families are very particular. We don't have a very deep connections with our mothers, at least not my generation, because the generation of us, on us was done the test as well, how much the kids can stay separated. The communists and the Russians were doing all sorts of things, the same like Nazi were experimenting with all kind of I don't want to say the name because otherwise I'm gonna be cancelled and censored. The thing that they put in the body. So that it's all kind of a manipulation, because practically sacral chakra is as well about relationships and the power struggle in the relationship and the manipulation in the relationship. So how we manipulate each other and how we are being manipulated. And if you are being manipulated, your sacral chakra gets absolutely out of the whack. And as well, the way we were born, most of us of my generation and in my country, we were born very cold way, just to not being connected with our families as well. It was the ideology. The communists were always trying to infiltrate the family from inside out. That means they were breaking up the bonds. We are not really bonded with our mothers, at least not my generation. Some of us are. It's probably not always, it's not gonna be for all of us. But the first trauma pieces happened in that time, and it started showing up for me this way how the society does the things, how the system is completely toxic, and the toxicity of how we've been just so awfully manipulated to be completely broken. So we're gonna be seeing this power struggle that will be affecting us on a physical level. Not everyone is, of course, feeling it. You have to be probably pretty much sensitive to those energies. And I would say that most of the empaths that having, and I mean physical empaths, especially physical empaths who are having the tendencies to tap into the biggest shit what runs the show, so they will be probably feeling it a lot, so they might be really crucified like right now. It's not easy, guys, so try to navigate these days as much as you can to best of your ability, and trying to ease up the pain the best way as you can. I don't really have many suggestions how to do it. I work a lot with my galactic team and with all my guides, because that's the only way how I know what to do about it, apart from a turmeric and some anti-inflammatory herbs which I'm taking in teas, and trying to stay away from the toxicity as much as I can. So that's energetically, that's the only suggestion I have right now for you, what you can do. Salty baths will help. Walks in nature, but I'm not sure, the earth grid is quite scrambled, and I think once you become so open and connected with all there is, but I mean not just on a theoretical level, but if you are really united with the earth, you will be feeling a lot in the body, and more sensitive you are, more you will be feeling. I will have to probably as well work on this to understand how to I don't know how to shield it or what to do about it, really, because it is very uncomfortable that I've been constantly filtering all this stuff for some reason. So I will have to figure that out, but that's my journey, that I'm not saying that everyone is gonna be feeling it, but I can see that even regular people were feeling something to some extent. Either they had a massive headaches, or they had a sore eyes, or they have a sore throat, or they have suddenly a lot of pains in the lower part of the body start showing up for them, on that part, on the left part of the belly. Or even a man, I know the father of my daughter had a pain in that spot on the left part of the body. And fair enough, my daughter was holding my hand and she was like, "Oh mommy, my leg starts hurting." And I was like, "Oh gosh, she's filtering me," because the new kids are much more connected. They don't even know what they are actually filtering also our pains, because obviously their DNA remembers as well the lineage. So we are doing that for them, that they don't have to deal with it as well. So it's not about us. Unfortunately, it's not all about us. So that's energetically what is happening, and I'm gonna next video I am gonna do a little bit more about the preparation for the next next year, which is gonna be more about preparing your physical environment, I mean your home right now, taking it super easy, because like we do not really know what is gonna be playing out in the collective. Really making sure that you take extra care for yourself physically. Try to avoid a toxicity as much as you can, because alcohol is gonna be like going like a crazy, because in the war season, what is valued the most is alcohol. Like, people are gonna be buying the booze. You can have a look of, you can go see it in stores. People are gonna be overeating. People are gonna be numbing themselves down in whatever way. So everybody will have probably any type of addictions, even like a shopping, might become amplified. And with the amplification as well, that's what is being amplified with the fear frequency as well in here. And there is a lot of other frequencies that are invisible and kind of like secretly broadcasted, and even through the phones. I got so many times this happened to me when I was in the store. I was listening some music, and I was plugged in, and I got electroshocked. Many times I got electroshocks like through the phone into my ears. And when you're holding as well higher frequency, or if your channels are open, if your chakras are open, you might be more sensitive to these underlying frequencies that are actually playing out. I notice as well that the light in the stores change, and it has different buzz, and I've been like manipulated secretly to shop certain things. So that's very interesting, that what my guides really pointed this out, that I get conscious about this, to not being online with my phone, to go offline when I am in the store, that I am not infiltrated or like secretly influenced by a frequency which I don't hear. But I hear it like in my, I don't hear it really, but I little bit having this sensation that there is something different type of frequency is going on. Very often I hear the frequencies in my ears changing, and yesterday this one was ginormous. I heard it in my ears. I couldn't even listen any music, and I couldn't even like listen anything, because the frequency in my ears was just crucifying. So I would say most likely as well, these lines, the horizontal lines, might have something to do with it. So it's not gonna be just the fear in here, the 19 hertz, but as well this, it's not visible in here much, but here it is actually, before this started. The horizontal lines are constantly mesmerizing me. So I think that it might have something to do with it, that we are being bombarded. These might be those frequencies what I'm talking about, because I hear them time to time. I hear it, how it changes, amplifies, it almost choke me. And finally the antenna, I mean, if you become the antenna like me, finally your channel is, or more clear it is, more you're gonna be picking up, and more you're gonna be able to recognize and understand what is yours and what is not yours, because you can always download information from the quantum field, what's going on, like, we are all designed to do that. But you might be noticed that even though you are coexisting with somebody in the reality, you will definitely understand that you are both on two different type of earths. So we usually think that those people are in our reality, but like if you doing consciously the work on yourself, and you still are like experiencing certain people in your life, you might be standing on two different type of earths. Like we are not really on the same earth with those who are with us in the reality. Not really. Everybody's experiencing their own version of earth. So put it this way. Oftentimes there is like a glass between you two, or maybe some sort of shield between you two. So oftentimes their energies cannot really penetrate yours anymore. It depends how long you are working on yourself. And the other way around, you might be able to influence the others, but I think that everyone right now has their higher self working really, like probably even overtime, to guide them through their own version of experiences, through their own version of Earth. I start feeling this for quite some time. Everybody is experiencing a completely different version of Earth than you are. It's so visible. You know, you might be attracted to certain people who are having similar experiences, but you are still, all of us are standing on a separate Earth. So it's not that we're gonna go somewhere. 5D is here all the time. It's and I think we are tapping into it, or you might be experiencing it multiple times per day, even like 1,000 times per day. You might be 20 minutes in it and then 1 hour out of it, and then 20 minutes in it and 1 hour out of it. But how you know that you are mostly on the 5D Earth, what they are calling, it's that you are having ginormous amount of the synchronicities. That's how you know that everything is a synchronicity in your life. Once you get into that place, you know that you are mostly standing on your own version of the 5D Earth. We're still working for the limiting beliefs though, and the programming and whatever, but once you start recognizing that everything around you is there for a reason, everything is neutral, every single situation or a circumstance is neutral, and it's more about what meaning you are gonna to give it, or what meaning you are giving it, that will determine as well your experiences. So let's say a blame games, like that's quite a common right now, the regrets and the blame games. So if you're angry, for example, and you lash out onto, I don't know, your partner, for example, all right, or your child, doesn't really matter, you are actually angry with yourself. You are not angry with the other person. So you have to dig deep why you're angry, because most of the time we are angry with ourselves. We are angry that we are still there where we are because we are making a meaning about the situation instead of trying to let it be neutral. If you look on everything that, okay, I am here in this whatever situation, whatever circumstance, whatever place, whatever, I don't know, relationship for a reason, and it's neutral because there is something what I have to learn or I have to understand about myself, which I still didn't see, then you're not giving it negative meaning. But the moment you start like blaming like the others, or you start, usually when you blame others, you are blaming yourself that you are in that situation. So you are practically angry with yourself. So the anger is gonna be huge. Anger, hate, jealousy, yeah, all sorts of power struggles. Blame is a huge one. Like I was dealing with this one. Victim likes the victim, and because I am coming from the country would actually experience the victimhood, and we were victimized, most of us in our own life, we were victimized one way or another. So these are sort of another layers or underlying or parts of the trauma, which we call victimhood. Coming from that type of environment, you could blame yourself or be angry that you actually chose this experience, because like when you know that you actually chose these experiences, you set this sort of scenario, okay, I'm gonna choose these parents and I'm gonna choose these experiences and I'm gonna incarnate into it. And my life is gonna be miserable. So obviously you're gonna find yourself one day or the other, playing a victim or blaming the others, or then you just of course progress out of it, and then you're gonna be blaming yourself for a change. And then maybe you're gonna deconstruct it, and then you're gonna say, okay, I get it, I get it. Okay, I understand it. It's there for a reason, it's actually neutral, and I can just choose something else because I choose to experience something else. I am no longer want to experience that, and I'm no longer choosing to experience that. But first you have to recognize it. So we're gonna be definitely looking and working very deeply with our limiting beliefs about our reality, what is set, what we can actually influence for ourselves, what we can manifest, and but not from the place of lack. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's it, you guys. It was a lot of information. It is a lot of information with me all the time. Like, I've been collector of the information, I guess. Yeah, it's my design, is bringing the information and a little bit of the awareness to the things that the people are not aware of. So when we were purging the abortion, let's say, there was a lot of abortion in my lineage, and it was crucifying as well, again, on my sacral chakra. And my mother went through abortion as well. My aunt, my cousin. It was running in the collective, I think about a month ago. And I was picking it up, and I didn't know what type of pain it is. It was very unfamiliar, but it was quite crucifying. And then the moment I recognize that it's not mine, that is something what the body remembers, because obviously it was running in the family, in the female consciousness, like in that stream of the feminine stream. All the abuse of the suppression of the feminine was always there. So one way or another, you're gonna be purging that if you're female. The disempowerment, the control. So it's handy to know these things, that you understand what is yours and what is not, and what you can release and say, okay, ancestors, come in here, clean it. It's not mine. I don't want it. You can always work and summon the ancestors. You just lie down and you just call in your higher self and tell them to help you to release it from the body. I am doing this all the time now. I practically lie down. I imagine that I am plugged into the earth through my root chakra. I open up my crown chakra. Well, my crown chakra is always open. And I call in my galactic team, my family of light, my guides, my higher self, and the light beings that would like to be with me for my highest good and the highest good of the humanity. Or I call in just my higher self and my guides, and I tell them to summon the ancestors to just get on cleaning. And believe me, I saw them one by one coming and taking out their portion they put on me to clean up. Because that's not energies I ever experienced. The body remembers it, but I don't have to purge it, So they will try to give it to you to purge, whatever it is. Let's say I didn't went through sexual abuse, or I didn't went through domestic violence. My mother did, though. My aunt did as well. My cousin did. A lot of the females in my family lineage did. But I didn't. So it was very unfamiliar pain, but I experienced it as a pain. But it's good to know, because this way you understand what's going on in your body, and it's way faster. The moment you know what it is, it stops hurting. And then you're fine and you can move on. So you can always call your ancestors, but call your higher self and your own guides to bring someone in to help you with whatever you're feeling right now. Because a lot of that stuff is not gonna be yours. A lot of it is not gonna be yours. If you have a look what's going on in the world right now, we are purging a lot of old things. A lot of cultural and ancestral trauma. So yeah, I hope this helps you guys. It's a big update. And yeah, I will keep writing as it comes on Instagram, and subscribe to this channel that you are notified when I post a new video, because it's gonna be random. I will go as it goes. It's been tricky. I'm being as well physically quite scrambled. So I hope this helps. I love you all. Your support is really appreciated. Thank you so much. And I see you next time. Bye.